Okay, this is Will It Run Part 3, and when we left you last, we had forgotten the electric fuel pump, so we were hoping that the mechanical pump was picking up fuel. Now, I thought I noticed diesel fuel coming from around these filters. Both these are new filters. One is a different brand, so that's why they look different. But the beauty of having this electric pump is I can pressurize this whole system without cranking the engine and running off of ether and that kind of thing. So what we're going to do here in just a minute is energize this pump, see if we have leaks. Now, if we have leaks, I already know what it is. These they're not O-rings and they're not gaskets. They come with your filter. A guy told me a story one time. He had a car and took it to a fast lube place. They did the job, and he drove away. I think he said his wife was driving it because the engine light comes on, she keeps driving it. Well, it pumped all the motor oil out of the engine and locked the engine up. Well, he took it back to the fast lube place in their chest about it. Well, this kid working there didn't notice that when he took the spin-on oil filter off, the gasket stayed up here. So he gets another filter, the new filter with the rubber gasket on it, and puts it up against the old one. Well, there was enough pressure in there that the oil came out between the two gaskets. So anyway, when you've got a problem with those gaskets, that's where it's going to leak. That's what I'm going to establish. While I'm thinking about it, you know what? I didn't mind you guys saying diesel should be in a yellow container. You're right. Now, this does have a spray painted D on it, but next time I buy a can, I'm going to get a yellow one. And somebody commented on putting ether in here being directly into the engine. It's not. The air cleaner is below this. And you'll also notice I don't hit it real hard with ether and then crank the engine. My theory is that the first piston that goes down draws all the ether in, and then that ether is there to do damage. I don't put ether until the engine's rolling, so each cylinder gets its own little volume of ether. Anyway, two little fine points that you guys had commented on. So I'm about to energize this, and we're going to see what happens. And sure enough, the pump's running. There's fuel. Well, that's going to be easy to fix. So I'm going to take these filters back off, see if I've got two in there, see if I've got an old one, see if it popped out and I've crushed it up against like this. Then we'll probably take this out. This is finger tight. This is a little bleeder. We'll make sure fuel comes out the tops. Then we'll probably go around to the injection pump. Now, most diesel engines have got a lift pump from the tank to the filters, and then an injection pump which hits on the injectors really hard. Here is an old lift pump that was laying back here in a box on the dozer. When I say mechanical, I mean literally the cam has got a lobe on it that's pumping on this thing. Almost like doing CPR. You're pumping, you're pumping, you're pumping. So that one's locked up, and that's, I mean, it's just a sample. Now, I did want to say, I thought I saw fuel coming out of here the other day when we were turning it over, which gives me hope that that pump is good. So I'm going to move some of this stuff, make this a little safer working area, then drop those filters, and when we bring the camera back up, hopefully that won't leak the next time. So you guys can take a break, coffee and a donut, or milk and a donut. Okay, we're continuing with the Will It Run when it gets diesel fuel, and I've been drinking some fuel of my own. This is a retro White Castle coffee cup. I think the original ones are printed in blue and the knockoffs are black, or vice versa. I've had a couple of each. This is a nice cup. And speaking of classic, does my mustache make me look like Howie Mandel, Wild Bill Hickok, Buffalo Bill, or Colonel Sanders? I hope not Colonel Sanders. Leave your votes down below and subscribe. So I have taken these filters off, got the O-rings right, and I had no leaks coming out of the filter. So what I'm going to do now is just run it momentarily and see if I've got fuel coming out this first filter, which if I see it, I'm going to be satisfied. Oh, yep, got fuel to that one. So now we're going to check the next one. I do not want to cross thread this little plastic. You know what? You don't have to take that all the way out. It's got a spot in the threads. Just turning it like that. Okay, we're going to power that up and see if we get, oh, where is that coming from? Is it what I just spilled or is it another leak? It's another leak. It's around the top of the filter. Look at that. I really wish I'd replaced this with a spin-on Napa filter. We paid $63 for this little bowl on the bottom, and I can't get these things to seal up right. Well, we have fuel here now, but we've also got it coming out around the tops of each filter. Dagnabbit. Okay, and let's go around to the other side. I'll show you what we're doing there.
Let's first point out where it's happening again.
It's leaking right around the tops of the filters. See it? Right back here, and that one. It's leaking. It might just be the back one. Well, okay, let's go to the other side. You know, what I've done here is taken the line that comes over from the filters off to see what kind of fuel I'm getting out here. Glad to be getting fuel, and it doesn't look like it's got water in it. So I'm happy with that. Next, we will thread this back onto the pump. This is the injection pump. This is where you start getting enough pressure to spray through the injectors. And next, we're going to crack a line on the last injector in the row up here and see if we get fuel there. So you see what we're doing? Good fuel from the tank to the filters, good fuel through the filters, good fuel to the pump, good fuel through the pump, and then to the last injector. Then we'll start this thing up without spraying ether in there. And so we're going to go back to those filters and work on that again. Before I do that, I wanted to tell you something. There won't be a lot of relationship advice here on this channel, but I do have one for you. Last week I dropped this dozer in Mrs. East Terminal's parking spot the week of Valentine's Day. Not recommended. Okay, so I got the filters to quit leaking by replacing the O-rings and ginning around with that. I don't have fuel out of the injector yet. We're going to try running off brake cleaner. Somebody suggested that. You always want to make sure you're in neutral before you do a maneuver like this, particularly with your son standing on the blade. Here we go. Let's see if it'll run on brake cleaner and pick up a prime. I didn't think so. My theory on this is specifically for cleaning oil. This is going into the cylinder and cleaning the oil off the walls, which we do not want. I say ether is more explosive, would burn quicker and cleaner. I'm going to take the time to go find the ether. Okay, we're going to go at this again. We got the fuel pump running, the electric fuel pump. Going to make some sparks. Yeah, it's running on its own now. I think I'm going to close that injector off so it doesn't spray when it starts up.
I was about to say, have a piece of wood or something ready to...
Well, I can do that. Although, like somebody said in the comments, you can hurt your hand. I knew of a story of a guy who started a big diesel engine on a huge bulldozer in a coal mine. And to shut it off, he thought he would starve the intake with his shirt and his body, and it killed him. It had so much suction. So yes, you got to be careful. Something I like to put over them is a manual, you know what I mean, thick book with paper, because it'll kind of conform. I don't think, I'll tell you what, my glove would do it. Here, this right here, if I have to, that will starve it out. Now the throttle linkage is broken, so we've got the throttle kind of set right in the middle of the range. Here we go again. Ether. I lost my ether. It was covered by this massive bicep. Okay, I'm ready. Woo! I think we're about ready to start working the... Oh, we didn't have the fuel pump on that time. Okay, this is going to be the end of this Will It Run. This is part 3. We did get it home. You saw us pull it off the truck. What I've been doing this evening is working in this pump. There is something wrong in this pump. This is a Standardine. It's also called a Roos pump. And I've watched so many YouTube videos. The metering valve was stuck, but now there's something down inside. There's 2 plungers that extend that I'm gonna have to take apart. These things, you could spend $1,800 on this. You can spend $700 to $900 just getting a seal kit put in it. Well, the seal kit's $35, and I think you guys know me by now. If I can do it myself, I'm gonna. So I've watched a bunch of videos on this. I'm in the process of taking this apart because I think I can fix this. And we don't know if the clutches are good. We don't know anything about the rest of this. I'm just reluctant to spend $1,000 on this pump to find out there's other issues in the tractor. So next week, we're gonna fix this. We'll have this running. We're gonna pull the chipper. We're gonna get the trains moving. Thanks for sticking with us. Like and subscribe. East Terminal Railway.